I'm going to give you a demonstration this afternoon on how I do my gerberas. Everyone seems to have a different pattern, but I'm quite happy the way I do it. Now, I've just emptied this out of the pot, and as you can see, there's a lot of still dirt and stuff. I have water going when I divide, and my husband puts the table up for me outside, so I'm at this level and I don't have to bend over, which is great too. So first of all, I take it out of the pot and I wash as much soil off as I can. And as you can see, so there we go. So there's another division. Not worth it. I didn't like to do too much ahead of shot. I do. So they've got some nice long roots, and see the little white ones just. I'll do a couple of them and then we can. It's a shame to cut these flowers off, but I'm going to have to. And I've got so many flowers on my mother plants, and it's unbelievable. But I've got to start dividing, otherwise I won't have any for next year. Once again, this one's got one of those little calyx things too. Let's chop it out. Now, if you have gerberas in the ground, and that, you need to divide at least every 12 months or no longer than 18 to 2 years. Well, you'll get great big bushes like this, and that you'll get smaller flowers and lots of leaves. And when you take them up, you'll always find that you get this calyx, and it's a lump of wood just here of the where the roots and it come from, and that's stopping the fertiliser and that going down into your roots, and so that needs to come off. Now you've got a nice big clump of plant like that. I guarantee when you divide it up, you'll be lucky if you get 5 or 6 plants out of it because of these lumps here. So we do say, you know, about every 12 months if you can. 2 years at the most, and that. And their roots can be that long. You don't need to put all that root system back into the ground. This is enough to go into the ground. And what I do when I divide, I don't put them straight out into the sun. I've got a nice shade area where my ferns and orchids are, and that I put them on the under there for a couple of weeks until I know that they've taken, and then introduce them to the sun. I'll take a little bit more out of that too. Okay, so I've got 2 divisions now. See, there's a long piece again. You see what I'm talking about? This bit here. Yep.
You take that off.
Take that off.
Okay.
Yeah, take it right out. And we don't need all these leaves on here either. The cleaner you make your plant, and that the better it'll take. If you leave a lot of rubbish and dead stuff around, that's when you can get your fungi and your diseases. Now, these leaves are quite short, so I can leave that length on there. If I had longer leaves, say like this, I would cut them. Actually, I'll take those two off. Yep, because that's taking goodness out of your plant. And that, so you don't need and plus when the wind, if they get caught in the wind, they're going to flop around and they're going to break and they're going to make your plant move as well. So into a bit of bleach. Just to pure bleach? No, I just put a splash of bleach, and you don't leave them soaking either. It's just a swoosh around and then into clean water again to take that bleach off. Yep, just ordinary household bleach. And I just buy the cheap one. And but I usually work with a bucket that size. So I have 4 buckets that side in front of me or to the side of me, and then I have all my potting mix here. So I'm not having to move too far around as well. So line your buckets up. You've got, when you are washing all the dirt off your plant, and let it and start trimming it all back. Wash it again to make sure it's clean. Then you can pull it apart and then do what I've just done. Then give it a rinse in your bleach and then into clean water, and then you're ready for planting. So today I'm going to use a little bit of soil. Now this is a new mix that I'm using today, and that I usually use the Bailey's Premium Mix or the Rich Grow Pro Mix, and I've had great success on that. So once again I'm going to experiment with the new potting mix that Jerry's been talking about. So I put a little bit in, a little bit of super. That's more than enough. So I just put a little bit of super. So it's just a pinch, like that. Super. Yep.
Do you mix it well in with the remaining, or do you just throw it in?
Just put it on top, like that.
Yeah.
All on top. Yep.
Well, be very careful. Only put a small amount if you don't mix it, because...
No, because I'm putting other stuff on top.
Yeah, but...
Before I plant.
It will still form a bit of a layer if you... It has to be very thin, or you can run into trouble. I've just tipped out a few pots and I found that the super wasn't mixed. It formed a film across. And I think that the roots have hit the super and it's killed them. I don't know, I'm only guessing. Yep. So in future I mix it
okay.
in.
Well, I usually put that much in the bottom of the pot, then put the little bit of super, and then I put more potting mix. And that's the roots are short. Yep. So when I'm planting, I make a little dome. When I tip it up, it's going to fall over. But I make like a little hill, in the pot. Okay? Do you know why?
Yep.
So the roots
Spread the
spread
roots.
outside.
Great. So I've cleaned all this up. Just want to take that other leaf off that's crossing over. And then I just spread the roots around evenly. And try and get your plant in the centre of your pot. It looks better when we're selling the plants too, and plus then they've got even side to spread around. So I put, and then I give it a little shake just to firm it up. One done. It doesn't have to be fully exposed, no. Now, also, I haven't got one here. Oh, yes, I have, with a little bud on it.
Do you see solid now?
Yeah. Yes, I would. I would finish doing the whole pot that I'm doing, and then I'd give it a drink of sea salt.
Sea salt.
These little buds. Now, at first I was told that you should take them all off, and that. I've left some of them on. It has got a very good root system on it, but I'm not going to do that one. But I have left that size bud on them when I've potted, and they've been fine. And within a matter of 2 to 3 weeks, you've got a flower. And that. I wouldn't let it be any longer than that. But occasionally when you're dividing, you'll have a little bud just down the bottom here, just poking its head through. Leave it. You don't have to take it off. And that. I don't know whether I'm going to get much out of that. I'm not desperate for it. So take all your dead flowers off. Once again, it's got that little nodule there. I'm going to take off.
Do you put any crystals in them? Crystals? Yeah, you don't have to touch.
Any?
Crystals that swell up.
Huge crystals.
No. Yeah. No. Don't
No. See all these lovely little white shoots that are coming? Now this one I am going to cut the leaves and that, because I just think they're a little bit long in case it gets a bit windy, and might move my plant around in the pot. They don't look very nice once you've done it. They're going to die off, but at least if the wind comes up, it's not going to move the plant in the pot as much. So a little bit of dirt. Once again, little pinch of potting of and I don't use gloves.
I was wondering if
I can't get the proper feel of gloves. And the rubber ones make my hands sweat and then they get sore. So once again, spread your roots. It is. We'll have a taste. Now, always leave a bit of room at the top. I only take the potting mix that high. Okay. Because when you're fertilising and that, I've got a can on the end of a stick. So you're bending down to the bucket all the time. Actually, Max made it for me many years ago. And I find it really handy. Now, a 375ml can, cool drink can, and that just sits nicely in there. And it goes down. And also you've got room when you're putting your NPK, slow release, and it goes around the edge of the pot. Never put NPK right up close to the crown. It goes on the outer edge. I'll just do a little demo with the... Everyone see that? View.
So do you do that whenever you get one? But you don't get pot?
Yeah.
You put some?
No, I'm just showing you where the NPK would go. I'm going to take that off. Pardon?
When do you start putting that on?
I usually only use the NPK in winter. I mainly liquid fertilise during summer and that. If we're coming up to a show, I will give them a dose of NPK, but just a little bit, no more than half to a teaspoon or just a pinch. I mean, I do everything with just a pinch and sprinkle it around. And that. But yeah, so just remember, don't take it right up to the top when you're potting. Just leave that little bit there.
At what point do you start fertilising?
About 4 to 6 weeks after. I give them sea salt. So now, when I finish dividing each plant that I do, then I give them sea salt and that. And I'll do that about 2 to 3 times in the first week, second week, and then gradually to just once a week and that. And then just be careful when you start to put them out into the sun. And that I'm not going to start dividing until November now because we've got the shopping centre next week. So, and last year I only did divided November, December. And as I say, I leave them all for about 3 weeks under the shade cloth and then gradually put them out. But I would not go and put them out on a 35-degree day. Pick your days. There's going to be a couple of days around the 25, 28 degrees. It's quite safe to put them out. And that. And I mean, I've had quite a good success run with the way I have been doing them. It's now 13 years I've been doing with the Gerbera Society. And yeah, I've won a few championships and I think I've produced some nice flowers And that the committee saw my garden last week. A lot of you saw my garden last year, didn't you? And that at the open day. But as I say, other people might have a different method of doing them. But this is how I've been doing them ever since I've been in the society, and I find it quite rewarding and what I've been doing.
Chair, can you just explain again why you put a hill in the middle of the pot, because I couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't hear you.
Yep. You just give that a wash. Give that a wash. So I put that little sandhill in there, and then you spread your roots around it. See? And it just gives them a lot more firmness than rather than putting it in and then trying to fill it up, and then all your roots are sort of like that. Where if you separate them and put them over that little hill, the roots have got a better way of just let me see if I can show you. Can you, Jenny, just have a look at that. See how I've got them around that hill?
Yeah. Good. Yep.
Can you all see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll put one of these on the raffle table, and then whoever gets it can report back and let me know how it goes. And as I say too, it's a new potting mix that I'm going to use this year. I usually use the Bailey's Premium Mix or the Rich Grow Premium Mix.
Yeah.
And that, which I'm still going to use. So I'm going to have 3 different potting mixes going this year, just to see. This one is a mix that I got from WA. Gerbera, they're selling this potting mix, so I thought I'd give it a go. But I felt that it was, I don't know, a little bit coarse, and that I wasn't really. So I thought, well, I'd put that in the bottom, and then put the peat on top.
Why don't you just mix the two together? Consistency through the heavens as well.
I don't know the reason for it, but I assume it's commercial reason. They say don't mix it, but I think that's purely commercial reason, just sell more of their mix rather than mix it with something else. But I'd put a little bit in the bottom because I'm a cheapskate. I used to only pay $3.50 a bag for potting mix, but I stopped doing that because they vary it so much. Sometimes you get mud, sometimes you get sand. So that's the problem. That's one of the things that I mentioned with this chap. I said, now your recipe won't change. It'll be exactly the same. Yes, you assured me it would. So, okay, give it a try.
But also what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what Bob said, mix half and half together and just see. So that'll probably give me 4 different
Because
mixes.
when I put stuff in the garden, I mix it, about 3 or 4 different things, mix it all together and then chuck it in.
Well, see, I used to use spongylite and zeolite as well with the mix, but it was just getting too expensive, and I couldn't see any difference in the last couple of years that I haven't been using it, and I couldn't see any difference in my plants and that, so I've stopped using it.
I did
Oh, no, I had success with it and that, but it was just getting so costly. You know, everything's going up every year and that. So I thought, right, I will try and not use it. And the last 2 years I haven't used Spongilite and Zeolite and that, and I'm still getting the same success.
There's only so much room to share anyway.
Exactly, and that. So, but I mean, I must admit, I've never used a real cheap one like someone over here does.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, I think a round of applause for that.
Beautiful. Beautiful. We're going to see lots of Gerberas up on the bench next year. Also at our May show, everybody should be able to put a few flowers in the May show.
Right, people.